hopefully you can use this video to check on your work or to answer any doubts that you have. Let's go to it. I am having a little problem with my pen, so hopefully that's not going to be a big problem. So I'll do most of them, or I'll try to do as many as I can. First one, so the first thing I want you to do is put this as a 1 over 1, right? Now, it's a division problem, a division of fractions. We're gonna use a method of using multiplication. We're gonna change this to multiplication problem, and we're gonna multiply by the reciprocal of 3/4. So it's gonna look like this. So let me just give some room here. There you go. So now it's -6 over 1. And the division becomes multiplication, and the 3/4 is going to become 4 over 3. Very easy to multiply now, right? Negative times a positive is a negative. 6 times 4 is 24, and 1 times 3 at the bottom is just 3. So it's negative 24 over 3, and we can simplify. 24 divided by 3 is just 8, or negative 8 at the end. I could have simplified before I multiplied, but I completely forgot. It's a mixed number here. So I want you to change those two mixed numbers to improper fractions. So I'm going to put a times and a plus, times and a plus. So we have 4 times 3, which is 12, plus 1 is 13 over 4. Divide 5 times 2, so 5 times 2 is 10, 13 over 5. Now I'm going to change this to a multiplication problem. It's going to become 13 over 4 times, and then again negative, and then we're going to use a reciprocal, which becomes 5 over 13. I can simplify, right? So I go this, 13 divided by 13 is 1. 13 divided by 13 is 1, and now I can just simply multiply across. 1 times, so positive times a negative is a negative. 1 times 5 is 5. And 4 times 1 is 4. Okay. Moving on. This one is negative 4 over 7 divided by, and not divided, so we're going to change that to multiplication. And 14 over 20 is going to be, 20 over 14 is going to be negative 14 over 20. Let's simplify before I multiply. I can simplify the 7 was 14. I'll simplify this direction. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Now I can simplify going across. Or I can simplify 2 and 20, or 4 and 20. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 20 divided by 2 is 10. I can also multiply 4 and 10. Divide 4 and 10, so 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 10, sorry, wrong one. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So now I'm ready to multiply. So I get negative times negative is a positive. 2 times 1 is 2. And 1 times 5 is 5. Let me pull this back. Nope, like this. Nope, also not like this. Uh-oh. Let me clear this. I think I can pull this back, right? Is it a division problem? I'm going to say it's a division problem. So or let's see if I have a handout here. What number is that? 6. It's negative 0.125, and then it's divided by 0, negative 0.5. Okay, divided. So I'm going to insert math and division sign. And there we go. So I'm just going to pull this back. So now we're dealing with decimals, which is not a big deal. So let's just move this, make it bigger. So remember what we have to do with decimals. To make life easier for us, we try to change. So let's just write it down. So 63.72, and divide that by negative 0.9. We're not going to worry about the sign right now. So we know the answer is going to be negative. It's a positive divided by negative. But the adjustment that we have to make is to move this that way So that 0.9 becomes a 9. I'm going to put a negative there just in case we forget. We've removed the decimal once over, so we move the decimal 1 over from here. So our new problem becomes 637.2. Can 9 go into 63? Yes, 7 times. So 63. 0. Bring the 7 down. Can 9 go into 7? No, we cannot, so I'm going to put a 0 over here. Bring the decimal up, and then let's bring the 2. Can 9 go into 72? Yes, 8 times, which is 72, and that's going to give us 0. So final answer is negative 70.8, which is right here. This one is easy. It's a positive divided by a negative, so it's going to be negative, and 56 divided by 7 is negative 8. This one, likewise, the same thing, 0.125 divided by negative 0.5. So they're both negative, so a negative divided by a negative, it's going to be a positive answer. My pen is really bad. So now 0.5, we move the decimal 1 over, it's going to be 5. Over here, we're going to move the decimal 1 over, it's going to be 1.25. 5 goes into 1, nope, bring the decimal up. 5 goes into 12 2 times, which is 10. Subtract. And then bring the 5 down. And 5 goes into 25 5 times. Final answer, positive 0.25. 7. And this is a complex fraction. It's a fraction on top of a fraction. So the only thing we have to do is, I think it's easier if we write this problem this way. 9 over 14 divided by negative 1, 5 over 20. So we change it, so I think it's easier to see it this way. We now can make our change, so it's negative. My pen is really bad. Negative 9 over 14. We're going to multiply that, and then, I'm sorry, I forgot to change this. So this is going to be times and plus 21 over 5, right? And then, so we're going to change division to multiplication, and then 21 over 5 is going to be 5 over, no, sorry, 25. No, wait. 20 times 1 is 20, times 5 is 25, so it's 25. 21, and I'm sorry, here's my mistake. First of all, it's 21 over 20. So over here, it's not 5, but it's going to be 20. So we can simplify. Let's see, we can simplify these two. So if I divide 20 divided by 5 is 4. 5 divided by 5 is 5. I can now divide the 4 and the 9. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 14 divided by 2 is 7. I can multiply. On top, I'm left with 9 times 2, which is negative 18. Oh, that's a negative 2, so it's going to be negative divided by negative. So everything's going to be positive. 7 times 5, 35. Okay. Over here, we're going to do 40.6 divided by 0.5. It's going to be negative. So the answer here, positive divided by negative, is going to be simply a negative. So this is going to move over once, so we're going to get a 5. And this is going to be moved over once, so I'm actually going to have 406. 5 goes into 4? No. 5 goes into 48 times. Subtract. 0. Bring the 6 down. Can 5 go into 6? It can go in 1 time. Subtract and get left over. We're going to continue. We're going to add a decimal by a 0. And 5 goes into 10 2 times. So that's going to be 10. 0 answer. So the answer is going to, well, it's a positive divided by negative, so it's going to be a negative 81.2. Okay. Number 9, it's negative 4.65 divided by 0.3. So again, we move the decimal 1 over, so this is going to become 3. I'll move the decimal 1 over, and that's going to be negative 46.5. Can 3 go into 4? One time. So 4 minus 3 is 1. Bring the 16 down. Let me take this guy out. 3 goes into 16 5 times. I'm going to bring the decimal up, so that's going to be 1 left over. Bring the 5 down. And 3 goes into 15 5 times. So my answer here is going to be negative 15.5. So these are not that difficult. So water pail in your bark has a small hole in it. You notice that it has drained 3.5 liters in 4 days. What's the average change in water? So you have a pail of water, right? And there was a little hole here, and water kept dripping, right? So you have water. And it took 4 days for this to be empty. So how much water did it leak every day? So this is just a division problem. So it's 3.5 divided by 4, right? Because you want to know how much water per day. So set it up, 3.5 divided by 4. That's a whole number we don't have to worry about. So just let's bring the decimal up. 4 goes into 3, no. 4 goes to 35 8 times, which is 32. Subtract, you get 3 left over. Let's bring a 0 down. 4 goes into 37 times, which is 28. Subtract, you got 2 left over. Bring another 0 down. Now 4 goes to 25 times. So how many liters did it leak every day? 0.875 liters every day. Where's 11? Okay, so again, the running backs for the Bulldogs team carried the ball 9 times. So somebody ran with the ball 9 times, but they went backwards. They lost 15 3/4 yards in 9 carries. So how many yards did he lose every time he had the ball? It's 15 3/4 divided by 9. I'm going to change this times and then plus 4 times 15 is 60 plus 363 over 4 divided by 9 divided. We're going to change this, right? So we're going to keep the first fraction. We're going to change the division to multiplication. And the 9, I'm going to put it over 1. It's going to become 1 over 9. Can I simplify anything? 1 from the top, 1 to the bottom. I can. I can simplify 63 over 9. So 9 divided by 9 is 1. 63 divided by 9 is 7. I can now multiply. 7 times 1 is 7. 4 times 1 is 4. So change this to a mixed number. It's going to give you 3 and 3/4 liters every day. 12. Describe a real-world situation that can be expressed by the quotient 18 divided by 15. Is that positive 15? That was negative. Hang on a second. It's negative 85, by the way. Over here, I'll put negative 85. So let me create a word problem. Oh, there's the minus sign. So negative on the other side. So it's actually like this. I lost $85 in 15 days. How much money did I lose every day? So because I lost money, it's represented by negative 85, right? So I can just simply negative 85 divided by 15. And that's going to give me 7, I think. Negative 7. And what does this represent? It represents that every day I lost $7. So you can choose a problem that has a negative connotation, right? 13. A hot air balloon descended, which means it went down, right? So the balloon, here's the balloon, right? There's a balloon and it's going down, and it again it went down 99.6 meters in 12 seconds. What's the average rate of descent? So let's divide 99.6 divided by 12. My 12 is a whole number already, so I don't have to make any changes. Can 12 going to 9? No. Can 12 going to 99? Yes. 8 times, which is 96. Subtract 12 going to 36 3 times, which is 36, and then 0. So what was the average rate of descent? The rate of descent was 8.3, or negative 8.3 meters per second. And 14. By 1996, a glacier lost an average of 3.7 meters of thickness every year. Find the total change in thickness by the end of 2012. So it started in 1996 and ended in 2012. That's going to be 14 years. So we're going to have to divide. Is it 14 years? 12 plus 4, 16 years, I'm sorry. This is 16 years. Alright, so from 1996 to 2012 is 16 years. 12 plus 4 over here. That'll be 14 years. No, 16. Why do I keep saying 14? 16 years. Now let's divide 3.7 divided by 16. Let's see how much the glacier lost every year. So 16 cannot go into 3, so I'll put a 0. 16 going to 37 2 times, which is 32. 5 left over, let's bring a 0 down. 16 goes into 53 times, which is 48. We're going to put one more 0. 16 goes into 21 times, which is 16. And 4 left over. So we can just round it to 0.231 meters every year. Next question. I have to do 2 videos here. So this will be the last question on the division. And then I'll do the multiplication. Sanders is having trouble with his assignment. His work shown as follows. So what did he do wrong? Let's fix it. So let's do the actual problem. So it's negative 3/4. I'm going to divide that. Alright, so I'm going to take this guy and rewrite it, right, so I can understand that a little better. So it's negative 3/4 divided by 4/3. Let's change that, right? So it's going to become negative 3/4 times, and then 3/4 here is going to change to 3/4. So he did this correctly. He did this correctly, but this he didn't do correctly. This is your wrong part, right? The 4/3. He kept it as 4/3. You're supposed to use a reciprocal, right? So the actual answer, well, negative times a positive is a negative. 3 times 3 is 9, and 4 times 4 is 16. So first of all, this is the answer. It's negative, and the mistake that he did was that he didn't change the 4/3 into 3/4. Okay, he forgot to change the second fraction. Can I continue? I will actually make that a second video for the other half of the sheet. Otherwise the video will be too long.